The concept of recombinant DNA technology is to harness the manufacturing power of the world's smallest factories.
It's a lifesaver. It's the difference between life and death.
Next, scientists transfer that desired gene into a seed, creating the genetically modified organism, or GMO. The most common method of transferring the trait uses a natural bacteria that can pass genes to other plants. Multiple samples of the best GM seeds are planted and prepared for the next phase in the GMO seed's life, testing.
We don't just willy-nilly make something in a transgenic plant and give it to humans. We would do all kinds of what we call in vitro tests to show that it isn't affecting cells that we can grow in a petri dish. Tests that we would use animals, largely mice and rats, that would show us that, if it is harmful to the rats or mice, we're certainly not going to take it forward with any hopes that it would be effective in humans. So there's a lot of steps in this process of certifying a compound as safe and effective for human use.
Right.
What do you know about GMOs?
I know they're genetically modified, organisms or crops. That's all I know, and that they're supposedly bad, and that they have labels on foods now.
What do you know about GMOs?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I feel like commercials say they're bad, but that's about it.
I think that we need to talk about as a society is whether or not the processes are okay, and science suggests that there's nothing wrong with the processes, and that each individual product needs to be assessed based upon whether or not it's going to be safe. And therein lies the issue, is safe. So in our country, our sort of line in the sand is a GE product has to be what's called GRAS, or generally recognized as safe.
People that work in this area like I do, they're extremely conservative about not wanting to harm humans. We're all about helping the human population, right?
Yeah.
We used to prepare insulin from pig, from the uteruses that sloughed off when pigs give birth, and we would extract the insulin and prepare it and give it to diabetics. Okay. Now, a small percentage of the human population has an adverse reaction to that insulin. So that is what drove the inventor of this technology, this biotechnology. He's considered one of the godfathers of biotechnology, to develop the capability of putting foreign genes into bacteria, in this case, the human insulin gene, and getting the bacteria to produce the human form of insulin. That has been so impactful for that roughly 15 to 20% of the human diabetic population that couldn't tolerate the pig insulin.
I think, again, we need to assess them on a case-by-case basis. And what's coming out now in terms of CAR T therapies, and there's been a couple GE viral eye blindness treatments.
Okay.
And they're utilized as kind of a last resort sort of thing. So one of the most common now genetic engineering approaches for controls of different blood cancers like lymphomas is a process called CAR T, where a sick person has already moved through all the chemos and it hasn't helped. So they've done all the conventional treatments and they're going to die, or probably going to die. Then this CAR T treatment is doctors take the patient's blood, take blood samples, extract and separate out the white blood cells, so the B and T lymphocytes, and they modify those white blood cells in a lab to attack the blood cancer.
Okay.
And then they inject those back in. The lifetime of those cells are only 3 or 4 weeks, two or 3 weeks. So they're modified, yes, but they die and are replaced by, quote, natural cells. So
hemp-derived CBD has been therapeutically certified, approved by the FDA for its use in the treatment of pediatric forms of epilepsy. I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent and have a child experiencing epileptic seizures on the order of tens of these a day. And that has serious consequences for the child.
Right.
Their normal development, right? That the hemp plants that are used to derive that CBD are genetically modified.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It's a very special hemp plant, and it doesn't produce the psychoactive THC molecule.
Yeah.
It produces predominantly CBD. The pharmaceutical company that grows these plants, they do it under very regulated and controlled conditions. They then purify out the CBD from those plants, but it's basically a GMO product.
very few people are advocating for children dying of cancer if there's a way to cure them.
Right.
Where I think this is going to go is people are going to get more and more comfortable with these sort of technologies. And it's this phenomenon called creeping normalcy, where people get normal with stuff. I have a picture of like an old-timey fisherman with a great big tuna, and he's super happy. And then like a fisherman from the 60s, and he's kind of heavier set guy, medium-sized tuna, super happy. And then a new fisherman, super fat, little tuna, super happy. And people have gotten used to smaller tunas over time because we've overfished the big tunas. And also, people have gotten used to obesity because there are very few fat people 150 years ago, whereas now it's a predominant body type in America, for example.
I can't imagine what it would be like to see your child suffering from these seizures and having a drug like CBD now that can be derived from a genetically modified plant, giving the child relief. I would go climb the highest mountain on the earth to do that with my kid.
I think sooner or later something's going to come around where people will be dying, and then we're going to take a look at the way we've been doing things, which in many cases doesn't involve on purpose, purposely excludes genetic engineering. And we'll say, okay, we have people dying right now. Should we bring all that we can bear technologically to solve this problem? Or are our principles such that we will continue to let people die and not utilize this technology? And then ultimately that's going to be up to the society to decide.